Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As the headline here shows, the media is slamming what they call chest beaters and cheering the U.S. strike on Soleimani. Today we're going to have a Fox News excerpt, and then we're going to briefly talk about it. And we're going to do that. Just a second here. Make sure that my thing is ready to go so you can hear it. But anyway, we're going to talk about that as soon as this is done. Alright, right after this.
Because I am hard, you will not like me. But the more you hate me, the more you will learn.
All right. It's okay to have your own opinion. It's okay to support Trump. It's okay to disagree with Trump. It's okay to say that what we did was right. It's okay to say what we did was wrong. What is not okay is to slam a political figure on media and make him feel like he's a bully. He did what he felt he had to do to save American lives. Now, at one part of this, I'm going to plug in my headphones because I want to hear it. At one part of this interview, you're going to see him ask somebody if he thought that the threat was imminent on American soil. There's going to be a fairly long pause, and then he's going to just answer a generic canned response. That's disturbing to me. Anyway, let's get into the video real quick, and we'll go from there, okay?
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Yesterday, as you know, an American airstrike killed an Iranian general called Qassam Soleimani. For the past 21 years, Soleimani commanded the Quds Force, which is responsible for paramilitary operations outside the national borders of Iran. In that role, Soleimani was believed to be a patron of the Shia militias that regularly attacked American troops during the Iraq War. He was also a major player in Syria during their civil war, as well as in the campaign against ISIS. Though he was little known to the American public, Soleimani was among the most famous living figures in Iran and also among the most powerful, according to some accounts, second only to the supreme leader of that country. The Iranian government has already vowed to extract what it has called forceful revenge against the U.S. in response to his death. Now, whether that will happen and what form it might take remains to be seen. But it's no exaggeration to say that by the next time this show airs, we could be engaged in a conflict, a real conflict, with Iran. From Iran's perspective, we're already there. If Iranian forces killed the chairman of our Joint Chiefs of Staff, for example, would you consider it an act of war? You would. So what happened yesterday wasn't just another symbolic bombing sortie of the kind we've seen in Syria. It was a pivot point. Neocons in Washington understood that immediately. Congratulations to all involved in eliminating Qassam Soleimani, tweeted disgraced former National Security Advisor John Bolton. Hope this is the first step to regime change in Tehran, end quote. That, of course, has been the neocon objective all along. The president, though, has for years opposed that objective and in a statement said that regime change and war are not the point at all.
We took action last night to stop a war. We did not take action to start a war. We do not seek regime change. However, the Iranian regime's aggression in the region, including the use of proxy fighters to destabilize its neighbors, must end, and it must end now. If Americans anywhere are threatened, we have all of those targets already fully identified, and I am ready and prepared to take whatever action is necessary.
According to the Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, meanwhile, Soleimani was killed to forestall planned attacks on Americans. But as he later conceded, those attacks would have occurred in the Middle East, not here in America.
President Trump's decision to remove Qassam Soleimani from the battlefield saved American lives. There's no doubt about that. He was actively plotting in the region to take actions, a big action as he described it, that would have put dozens, if not hundreds, of American lives at risk. And last night was the time that we needed to strike to make sure that this imminent attack that he was working actively was disrupted.
Was there any imminent threat to the U.S. homeland?
These were threats
See that
were
pause?
located in the region.
Threats in the region. If you don't live in Washington,
He never admitted that it would be a problem or not a problem in the United States.
Countries, places where American troops would never be in the first place were it not for the insistent demands of non-geniuses like Max Boot and John Bolton. But never mind. No one in Washington is in mood for big picture questions right now. Questions, the obvious ones, like, is Iran really the greatest threat we face? And who's actually benefiting from this? And why are we continuing to ignore the decline of our own country in favor of jumping into another quagmire from which there is no obvious exit? By the way, if we're still in Afghanistan 19 years...
Okay, that's enough of that. Anyway, guys, first of all, just what I was saying about the tag saying he admitted it's no threat on the United States. That's bullshit. He didn't say that. He paused. He looked like he wanted to say something. But he just said, you know, in that region. I mean, really? It makes you wonder what might be actually being planned, okay? But anyway, I just kind of wanted to show you that you know, the people who support Trump in his decision to do what he did are being bashed. And that's where we have to stop being so divided in this country, and we have to start pulling together as one unity, one great big population. I'm not saying we all got to get on a doggone plane and go over there and do our thing. But we have to put our personal opinions about what other people think and how it may agree or disagree with what we're saying and come together for a common cause. That's what we need to do. We need to stop slamming the president. I'm going to say this, probably going to offend some people, but most of you watching this or anything else that has to do with Trump, you elected him. Now support him. If you don't like what he's doing, then the election's coming in November. We can change that out. I don't recommend it. But hey, that's on you. But you have never been tasked with a job as difficult as being the president of the United States. I'm telling you, there's a whole lot more in the backstory goes on with being president. He don't just wake up in the morning and go, oh, well, fuck, I'm going to bomb Iran. No. He gets pressure from a lot of people. Military people, high officials in the military, leaders of the military. He's the only one that can make that decision. You can't have some high-end general say, let's go over there and fuck him up. Right? So no. That's what I'm saying. We need to be doing our part and supporting each other, listening to each other, and talking about it openly instead of fighting with each other. Right? Because, long story short, it's already happened, and now we have some consequences that may be coming our way. As always, like, comment, subscribe, leave your comments below. I do respond to all comments. If you feel like you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link below. You don't have to, though. Otherwise, I do really want that thumbs up. I want that comment, and I want that subscribe, and I definitely want that share. As always, stay woke and stay safe.